Climate change is a global issue affecting every country. However, it does not affect all countries equally. Small island developing states, or SIDS, are among the most vulnerable. These are small countries, often islands, scattered around the world's oceans. They face the worst consequences of climate change. Many of these countries lie just above sea level. This makes them especially prone to rising sea levels. Extreme weather events like hurricanes and typhoons hit them hard. Flooding is a constant threat. Coastal erosion is eating away their land. Despite their small size, the impact on SIDS is immense. Governments in these nations struggle to protect their people. They have limited resources to deal with such big problems, yet they are doing what they can. They're trying to adapt and survive, but the challenges keep growing. Climate change is not just an environmental issue for them. It affects every part of life. Their economies, homes, and ways of living are all at risk. These small nations need help. The world must act quickly to support them. SIDS contribute very little to the problem of climate change. They produce only a tiny fraction of the world's greenhouse gases, yet they face some of the worst effects. This is deeply unfair. These countries are paying a high price for a problem they did not cause. For example, the people of Tuvalu produce less carbon dioxide per person than almost any other country, but Tuvalu is one of the first places that will disappear if sea levels keep rising. The same goes for many other small islands. They are on the front lines of climate change. Climate change causes more frequent and severe weather events. Hurricanes, cyclones, and typhoons are becoming more intense. These storms bring heavy rains, strong winds, and massive waves. They cause flooding and destroy homes, schools, and hospitals. The irony is hard to miss. The countries that did the least to cause climate change are bearing the brunt of its effects. This is why global cooperation is crucial. Big countries with more resources need to step up. They must help these small countries adapt and survive. One of the biggest challenges for SIDS is rising sea levels. As the planet warms, ice caps melt and the oceans expand. This causes sea levels to rise. For small islands, even a small rise in sea level can have devastating effects. It can lead to coastal flooding and erosion. Extreme weather events are another major problem. SIDS are often hit by powerful storms. These storms cause massive damage. For instance, in 2016, Cyclone Winston hit Fiji. It caused widespread destruction, leaving many people homeless. The recovery was slow and painful. Flooding is also a constant threat. Many SIDS are low-lying. This makes them vulnerable to both coastal and inland flooding. Even small amounts of rain can lead to significant flooding. This disrupts daily life and can cause loss of life and property. Ocean acidification and warming are other serious issues. They harm marine life, which many SIDS depend on for food and income. Coral reefs, which protect coastlines and support fisheries, are dying. This adds to the economic and environmental pressures these countries face. Section 4. Economic struggles and resource shortages. The economic impact of climate change on small island developing states, or SIDS, is enormous. These countries already have limited resources, and climate change puts even more strain on their economies. They face higher costs for rebuilding and recovery after disasters. For example, Hurricane Maria in 2017 hit Dominica hard. The damage was so severe that the country's debt soared. The debt-to-GDP ratio reached 150%. This made it difficult for the country to recover and rebuild. Tourism is a vital part of the economy for many SIDS, but climate change threatens this industry. Rising sea levels and extreme weather damage beaches and resorts. Coral reefs, which attract tourists, are bleaching and dying. This leads to fewer visitors and less income. Agriculture and fisheries also suffer. Changing weather patterns affect crop yields. Fish populations decline due to warmer, more acidic oceans. This reduces food security and incomes for many people. The economic losses from climate change are immense and growing. Section 5. Striving for resilience and the need for global support. Despite the challenges, SIDS are working hard to adapt. They are developing climate action plans. These plans focus on building resilience and reducing emissions. Many SIDS aim to become carbon neutral. They are investing in renewable energy and sustainable practices. However, these efforts require money and resources. SIDS need financial support to implement their plans. They also need technical assistance. This is where the international community must step in. Developed countries have a responsibility to help. Global support is crucial for several reasons. First, it helps SIDS build resilience against climate impacts. Second, it supports their economies and communities. Third, it promotes global climate goals. By helping SIDS, the world helps itself. There is also a need for better climate services. SIDS need accurate data and forecasts to plan and respond effectively. Many lack the resources to develop these services. International cooperation can fill this gap. It can provide the tools and knowledge needed to improve climate resilience. In conclusion, climate change is a crisis for small countries. They face the greatest risks despite contributing the least to the problem. The world must act now to support them. This support is not just a moral obligation, it is essential for global climate stability and justice.